Hello once again and welcome. It's me, Charles. In this video, I intend to go further in our journey on time intelligence with SQL. And so you'll recall that in the previous video, we had done something on, annual analysis, trying to see what happened annually. And so in this video, we will have the opportunity to see something that is more or less monthly. Okay, so I'm just going to start it up. So this was the last one we did. We're able to see what were the count of requests, what was it in the prior year, and what was the incremental, over the prior year, and what was the percentage that came out from it. All right, so today we would be looking at another question, and that is this other question here that says, what are the peak months for record creation? Actually, it's request creation. So records, every role makes a record. So in the entire database, that is we have that almost 1 million records there. So you can always see that in the CSV file that I have shared in the description below. And so let's start this. To start this, we will just we'll need to create a new script and work with that new script. So this is not going to help us. Let's go for just a new one. So here it is. So we have this as a new one. We need to ensure that it's connected and it is actually connected to what we want. So we're going to just test by saying select all from service request, and we're going to run it. So this is the table where we're going to be doing all the questions that are yet to come. So the questions are set in a way that it goes from simple to much advanced questions. So we're taking this one for today, and I'm going to just have it here for us. So like comment, and so that it is. That is what it is there. So actually it says monthly seasonality, and that is what it is looking at. And it says, what are the peak months for record creation? So my suspicion here is that this question is telling me that what are the peak months in each of the year. You get it. So we're going to see how we can get that out. And it says which month had the highest number of records reported in the data set. All right, so what we're going to do is let's start working on that. So we already see that we have these, there are actually so many columns, and but we're not going to be using all of them. We'll just pick that which we want to use. So we definitely will want the date, time in it. We definitely will want that one, and we would want the request ID, because we can use the request ID. We can use the request ID for counts that we might need to do request ID. So let's hope that this gives us from our service requests. And if we run this, we actually get this returned to us. So that's what we get, and that's the query that's giving it to us. So we need to find a way, because if you look at this date time here, you would see that it's AZ that is here. So AZ indicates that we are working with a string. So we need to convert it to become a date. And what we do is that, knowing that it's a date, we need to cast it. You get it? We need to cast it to become a date. So this we use this colons symbol. We put it twice. It's just a short way of casting numbers to the data type that you need to use. So I'm going to just use date like this, and then just go. So what it has done is that it has taken out the date aspect of from the text, and it has just given us this. So if you look right here, you'll see that it has something like a clock. You get it, something like a clock there. And so that indicates that we are now looking at a data that is time based. You get it, this time date based. But what we actually want to do is that we want to analyze these things based on months. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this one here, and I'm just going to create it here again. But this time we would need to just change this one to reflect the months. So there are many ways in which we can do that, but one of the ways I want to introduce to you is a function called to car, to char, to car, or whatever you call it, anyone. So what I'm going to do is that inside the bracket, I'm going to use this function, and this function, I'm going to tell it that I want you to give it to me I want you to give it to me year dash, months, like this. So actually what I'm trying to do by this is I'm trying to get the date to have just the year number and the month number, because in that way I would have gotten something that will represent each month through the years. So this I'm going to call as months. You get it. So this other one is not in months, it's actually looking at everything. So I'm going to just call this one as dates. So let's run it and see what comes out. So when we run it, this is what comes out. So you can see now that I have it in months here, and I have these as the dates. You get it all through. So we're going to have them, just like this. These are the request IDs. They are not the number of requests that came in. They are just the request IDs. So what we're going to do now, we already have something that represents all the months. So what we just need to do is to count the number of days that we have. So in doing that, I really do not, I no longer need this date. Actually, all I need is just, so I'm going to take this one out. Yeah, I'm going to take it out. And this is what we just need to do our work. Okay. Now, what we now can do is to, like count this. We're going to count this. And the moment we're doing a count here, we're actually doing an aggregation. And anytime you have an aggregation, all you just need to do is you need a group by. You always need a group by once you do an aggregation. And so we're going to group by what now? So we're going to group by this. So I'm going to just select all of this, and here I'm going to put it here. So that's what I want to use to do a group by. And I think I can also use the months. Yes, I think so. Let's try. So if we run this, what we're going to see is that we're going to see a count. We're going to see this count. So this is going to be a count. Let's call it monthly underscore count of requests. Okay, monthly counts of requests. And so we just run it. So we have something much more ideal here that tells us that these are the counts, these are the numbers that came up. Now remember that in the question, there's the question says which month is the highest in the data set. So remember that we are asked for which month is the highest in the data set. So what we're actually going to do is we can then sort this whole thing. This time SQL doesn't have a sort. Rather, what we're going to do, we're going to order by. So we're going to do so it's two word, not one word. Order by, and we're going to order by this monthly request counts. So we're going to do this. So we've grouped by months and we want to order by this, and we're going to do that in descending order. So from highest down to the lowest. So we're going to just use this because the default is ascending order. So we're going to use this and then just run it. And so we can see that the highest is 10,555. You know, all is, it's going down, down, down. So that's certainly going to be the highest. Now, if we want to just return only that highest, we would have done a limit and one like this. So once we run it, what we are going to get is just that row, you know, that has got this number in it. You get it. So that's what that one is. But that's just like answering the second question here. So the other question we want to answer is, so in every year, we want to find out which is the highest month in each of those years. So I'm going to come down. I just selected this aspect of it, and let's just run it and see what it gives us. So it's talking about a group by because I have this one here. So I'm going to take this out because I don't think I want to do an aggregation. All right, I think we need an aggregation. So let's get the group by here. Run it, and this is what we have. So we have all the months that are here. So we're going to order it by months also. So you can see this coming out in months. All right. So let's run this and see what comes out of it. So when it comes out, you can see that 2009, we started in June, all down to 2029. Sorry, 2019. That's what the data set has. You get it. So this is what actually comes out of it. So the question again is, which month is the highest for each of the years? So what I'm going to do is we're going to have what we call a CTE. So a CTE starts with a with, so it's a common table expression. I keep saying I don't know why it's called common table expression. I'm trying to find a logic to map it to what exactly it does. So what it actually does, it creates you can use it to create a virtual table. So I'm going to call this TB1 as, and I'm going to explain what I'm doing. So I'm going to have a bracket around this entire query that I have. Actually, CTE tends to be a substitute for subqueries. So actually I have this query in here, and this query, I'm trying to say I want to see this query as a table. You get it? So I'm saying that it should use TB1 as an alias to, you know, to know that anytime I call TB1, I'm telling it to use this table that is here. So we can understand it by just, I'm going to put just as if I want to do a comment, but for a space. That's why I did that. So I'm going to do a select all from TB1. So if it returns this same table, I would know that it recognizes it. So it's running now and it returns the same table. So it recognized TB1 as an alias, as its name for this. Okay, so now that it does this, you know, what I'm going to do is that I want it to return these two fields, these two columns. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put a comma here. And I want a field, I want a column that is going to help me to pick the maximum, you know, maximum value from all of these months that you see here. So I'm going to start to write this time a Windows function. So I'm going to look for the max. You see, I'm going to look for the max, and I'm going to look for it over something, and I'm just going to put this one here for now, and I'm going to call it as max underscore monthly. Let's use month underscore max underscore per year, per year. Okay, so just something like that. So what I'm trying to do, I want to get the maximum of whatever um, is in a year. So if you look through, my maximum has to come from the monthly count of requests, you see. So if we have all of these months, I want to get the maximum out of it here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just pick this alias that we have used for it. So this is the beauty of CTEs. I wouldn't have been able to do this easily in here. Anyway, the subquery would have helped me to do that. But I'm able to use the alias here in this other query because it recognizes this as a table, and I'm querying this table that is here, not that which is in the database. So I can now use this as a header inside here and say that this is what I want you to search for and look for the maximum. And it's going to be over something. We're going to come back to this, and I want you to name it like this. So even if I'm doing this because I think I've used this without anything inside, I just want to show you when and sometimes you will need to have something inside the over. So now you can see what is happening here, that I've got a maximum. Remember, this was the number we got when we ran this one. So when we did this one, this was the number we got here. All right, right here, it's giving this us that number for this entire, you get it, it's giving it to us for this entire and for all of the rows. What does this mean? What it's doing is saying that, okay, actually the formula you have put here, you know, the code you have put here is saying that I should give you the maximum over all the entire data set. And that's not what we want. You get it? So in that case, SQL allows us to do this, and it says we can do a partition. You know, partition. You see, I've ordered it. You see, I've ordered it here. Everything is ordered. They're coming one by one, and that's the idea of the window. So actually, I'm saying partition by. So there are a lot of bys. You know, order by or group by, and this is partition by. And I'm telling it now that I want it to partition it by something. So I have my months here, and I'm going to tell it. I'm just going to pick my months here. You can type it. And I'm going to say it should partition it by months. All right, so there we go. Now we have it partitioned by months. So let's run it and see what it gives us. So I'm going to run it, and let's see what it gives us. Okay, and so what it gives us, it's so this is all of this year, and it says over this partition by months. All right, okay, I see what it is doing here. So it's returning the same thing for us here. I actually need to do something else. So what I just need to do is to come here. So I can't group by months. You know, I'm looking for which is the highest in a year. So I'm still going to need another column here, and this time I'm going to just do I'm just going to so to take out the year, to get exactly the year out of it, we're going to, this is already a character, so let me try this. I think this will work. So we're going to do a left, and we're going to do a month, and months and comma. We're going to take 4 out of it to say that this is as years. Okay, let's see if this will do the work for us. Otherwise we'll go through the longer route. So it does that for us, putting our years here. Yeah, it does that for us, bringing out our years here. So anyway, let's look at it this way. So I think we can use it, but this time around, I'm not going to over it by, I'm not going to over by months, but rather we're going to use the years. Okay, so are we right? No, Yes. All right. Yes. All right, let's go. Oh, sorry. So that would not, because I'm inside this table, it cannot recognize this yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to collect this one and put it here and run it. So good. So now I want you to look at this very well. I want you to look at this very well. Actually, we really don't need the months again, but we'll take care of that later. So I want you to look at this very well. And what I want you to look at is, I want you to look at this place. Look at this. This is everything 2029, sorry, 2009. And these are the numbers that come off it. Now notice what has happened here again. You see, the same period, and it is returning 3,278. Now, if you look carefully through here, you see that 3,274 is the highest month in this year. Well, we know that it's not a 12 months here, but that is what comes out. So it does just that for us. Now, look at this other one here. And this one is quite long anyway. You get it, and so on. But anyway, it's within what we're doing. And then look at this one here. So you can see that right here we have the highest value here, and that is the value that it is bringing out here. So somehow we've been able to get the highest value, you get it, from the year, the month that has the highest value. We've been able to get it using this. So what we're going to do now, let's just clean it up and get what actually we want. We actually do not need this, neither do we need the month here. You get it. So what we actually need is just this year's and this max. Okay, so we can also have the months in there. So what I'm going to do is that instead of this select all that we have here, we're going to tell it to give us the year. We're going to tell it to give us this, and just after the year, I would also want to have the months. I also want to have the months there. Okay, so let's run this and see what we have now. So we run this, and so this is better now. So we have the years, we have the months, we've got all of this on here. Now you can see that we have a lot of duplicates here. Now this is where CTE comes in again. So for me, because what I want is a table that just filters out the year and gives me the month where I have the highest. You get it? So that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want to do. And excuse me, I think I will need this monthly count also to be by the side, and I will tell you why I need it by the side of it. So this is the max. So after this, let's have this one in here. So nothing much that I've done, and I will show you why I need it. So I'm actually going to use it. I want you to visually see what is happening or how the solution comes up. Otherwise, I can do without this and I will still get my answers. So you can see that what I really need to do is to find where I have the monthly count of requests equal to the month max per year. So if I can get that, I can be able to filter the months where we have the highest in any particular year. Now see how I go about doing that. So we'll go by CTEs again. So I'm going to say that TB2. So that's my second table. As I don't need a width here again. So this width covers all the tables that you might have. So let's just do this like this, and so that you can be able to see all these tables that are there. So this is the second table that I'm creating now, and I'm going to just use a bracket to just enclose this query here. So what that simply means is that everything here makes table 2, everything here makes my table 1. So I think this way is it's visually, we can understand what is going on here. So let me just get this a little down, and let's get some white space so that we can be looking at what we actually are solving. So here I'm going to just test it to be sure that I'm seeing what table 2 is. So I need a space here because I don't need to have a space in between the codes so that they can run. All right, so we're going to do a select. We're doing select all from TB2. So the aim is that it should return exactly what I have here. So I'm going to run it now. So it's saying TB2. Do I have a space here? No. So yes, so this is it. So when you have more than one table in a with clause, as it is here in SQL, you need to separate the tables with a comma. So now this is, initially we just have one table, so we did not need a comma, but here we need a comma to separate the two tables. But this with needs to understand that, look, I'm working with these two tables. So let's run it now and see what comes of it. So it's running now, and there it is. That's what comes out of it. You get it. So this tells me that it recognizes TB2 for this query that I have done. Notice that TB2 is using TB1. So it's like saying, okay, I have a virtual table here. From this virtual table, I'm going to do some querying and get some answers. But right now, we want to use TB2 as an input to get our final results. So what I'm going to do here is, now we're selecting all from TB2. Now I'm going to bring in a where clause. I'm going to bring in a where clause, where, and we're going to say that we want where the monthly count, where the monthly count is equal to the max month max per year. Okay, so month max per year. So that's it here. So we're going to run this one and see what it gives us. So you can see that it has filtered them out. It says that this is exactly what we have. So for the year 2009, we had the month of November. No, we had the month of October that gave us this much, and then in 2010 we had the month of June that gave us that much. And so you can actually see which months do give us the highest in each of the years. So we're trying to say, okay, which month is likely going to give us the highest. We can have that because you see we have 10 here, we have 10 here, and I think that's just the two that we have. June comes in once, but we seem to have July 7 here and 7 here. I think July comes in about 4 times. 4 different years we have it in July. So as an analyst, this is something you might want to probe and really find out what is really the case, because you can also see that August is here. We've got August here, and we don't have an August here. So if we were looking at it from a statistic point of view, July, which is the mode, which is the most occurring, tends to be the month that you're likely to have something else. So if it has happened up to that, if it has happened up to that, how many? 1, 2, 3, so 4 times or so. So if it has happened up to that number of times, then likely there is something associated with that month being the highest, being the most common amongst all of them. Or this also shows us a pattern that it might not be a particular month that we always have coming up as the highest. So there might be other factors that cause it, and if your data has got other factors, you might want to test it against all of those factors. But here we're doing time intelligence and we're trying to see how this works. So have we answered the question? Let's look at it. What are the peak months for records creation? So annually, these are the peak months that we have, and it says which months have the highest number of records reported in the entire data set. So we also answered that with this query that we have here. And it's running, and that is what came out of it. So I guess you've learned something from much of what we have come up with in this video, and that's my intent. It's a series that will be answering questions based on time intelligence and with that same data set. So if you've got the data set in part 1, we are using that same data set all through the questions that we have. We have more advanced questions coming later. So it would be nice if you can stick around by subscribing or hitting the bell icon so that you get notifications when I post videos that answer a new question. So far so good. Thanks for watching. Have a nice time.